Hi students, so tomorrow you're going to have a quiz. I hope that you spend at least 15 to 20 minutes practicing this with me. Remember, the practicing of these problems are not just listening to my amazing voice and watching it. You actually have to write this down in a piece of paper, do it as I do it, or in fact, do it first. So pause this video, try to do it, and then see what I did. Okay, check your work. And if you made a mistake, try it again and make sure that you get the same answer that I got. Okay, so in this one, we are combining like terms. Okay, so what can we combine here? I can combine the ones with the x coefficient. So remember, I grab the sign that's in front. That belongs to this number. So I'm grabbing my negative 3x and my negative x. Remember, that's like having a 1 here. So what is a negative 3x and another negative x is going to be a negative 4x. Okay, now I can combine my plus 3 and plus 5. What's a positive 3 plus 5 is a positive 8. And that's it. That's your answer. Okay, just be very careful. And you see how I kind of drop it down this way. All right. Let's go to another one. Here, it looks like it's a lot more difficult, but it's not. I just incorporated fractions, and you are going to have a bunch of these in tomorrow's quiz. So same exact thing. Let's grab the ones with the same coefficient. So here I have negative 2/4 x. Okay, and then here I grab the negative in front, negative 1/4 x. So if I have a negative and a negative, it's just going to be a bigger negative, right? Okay, so negative 2/4 and a negative 1/4, you have the same denominator. So that denominator is going to stay 4. And you have negative 2 and negative 1 is negative 3/4 x. Okay, so I'm done with that one. Easy. Now I'm going to grab a positive 1/5 y and a positive 2/5 y. So 1/5 y plus 2/5 y, I'm just adding 3, same denominator, 5th y. So I didn't make these very difficult. Oops, look what I forgot. I forgot plus 3/5 y. It's positive 3/5 y. Okay, so that's it. Simple. So that is the answer for this one. Okay, now we are going to do distribution. And you guys got pretty good at this, but I want you to see this. I did this because this is very different, and I don't want you to get confused with these. So when you see this, what you're distributing here is the negative. The negative is going to change everybody in here because this is like multiplying by negative 1 to everything. Remember, the parenthesis means multiplication. So whatever you have here, you're multiplying it throughout every number inside the parenthesis. So first we look inside the parenthesis, we see there's nothing I can combine in here. So then you go and you start doing your multiplication. Because I have a negative here, that negative is going to multiply in on these, and it's going to change everybody in here. So I'm just going to start rewriting. So I have 3. This negative is going to change that 8 to a negative 8x. This negative is going to change that negative into a positive 2. Okay? Because negative 1 times 8x is negative 8x. Negative 1 times negative 2, a negative and negative is a positive 2. Okay? I think this is foggy. All right. Now, could we combine like terms? And yes, we can. We have a positive 3 and a positive 2. What is 3 plus 2? Is positive 5. Okay? I like putting, when it's a whole number, I like putting it at the end. So I'm going to put plus 5. And then I'm left with negative 8x. And that is your answer. Now look at the difference here. Here, you're multiplying the 3 in here. So you're really multiplying the -3 throughout this. So now I say -3 times 8x is -24x. -3 times -2, negative and a negative is a positive, so -3 times -2 is a +6. And now I'm done with this one, okay? So you saw the difference here. I have to change everybody's sign. Here I'm multiplying the 3 in, okay? This is 3 minus all of this. This is -3 times all of this, okay? All right, now our other friend here. This is the last of the, well, no. Before, here I'm doing both operations. I'm doing distribution, and after I do distribution, I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. Okay, so even though this looks long and weird, don't get bombarded. Do step by step. Let's start over here first. Half times 2x. Okay, remember when you're multiplying a fraction with a whole number, the best thing to do is make this 2 look like a fraction. So what does a 2 look like a fraction? Well, you could just put a 1 underneath it. Okay, and then you have 1/2 times 2 over 1. When you multiply fractions, it's easy. You multiply the numerator, which is 1 times 2 is 2. Multiply the denominator, which is 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, and 2 over 2 is just 1. Okay, so 1/2 times 2x is going to give me 2 over 2x, which is 1x. And 1x is the same thing as just x. Okay, now we got to go with this. 1/2 times 3, it's like 3 over 1. 1 times 3 is 3. It's going to be positive. 2 times 1 is 2. Is 3 over 2. And yes, that is improper, and I can change it, but I'm not going to right now. Okay, so hopefully you saw that. So it's 1/2 times 2x and 1/2 times 3. If I lost you here, remember it's 1/2 times 3 over 1, because every whole number has a 1 underneath it, and that's how I got my 3 over 2. Okay, so this is 1/2 times 2x is going to be x, and 1/2 times 3 is 3 over 2. Now I'm going to go this area. I got to distribute. That negative is going to change everybody in here. So now I'm going to put minus 4x, and this minus is going to make this guy change to a -6. Now that I've gotten there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to combine like terms. So I have a positive x, which is like a positive 1x, minus 4x. So if I have 1x minus 4x, that gives me a negative 3x, right? Because 1 minus 4 equals -3. Okay, now I'm going to grab these. 3 over 2, okay, so positive 3 over 2 minus 6. Okay, now you're going to be like, whoa, Miss Lorenzo, what's happening here? Well, let's look at this. This one is going to be a little more complex, so pay attention. So you are 3/2 minus 6. You're going to be like, wait, a positive and a negative. Keep change. You're going to take the difference, and you know that your answer is going to be negative because the 6 is bigger. So we know already that your answer is going to be negative, so I'm going to put it here. Now, what is the difference between 6 and 3 over 2? This is a concept that is a little bit difficult to understand. I have a couple of ways of doing this, but first of all, this one is a pretty easy number. If you make this into a into a mixed number, this is 1 and 1/2. So this is the same thing as 1 and 1/2 minus 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the difference of this. So 6 minus 1 and 1/2. Now you just can't say 1/2 and bring it down here. You need to borrow from the 6, who is going to become 5. Okay, now that one that you borrowed, I'm going to put it over here in the form of a fraction. Well, but remember when we subtract fractions, we need the same denominator. So I'm going to choose, and you can choose anything, but I'm going to choose 2 over 2 because 2 over 2 is the same thing as a 1. And that's the one that I borrowed from here. But now it makes it easy for me to subtract because it has the same denominator. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 is just 2, same denominator. 5 minus 1 is 4. So my answer is negative 4.5. Okay? So, and I mean, that's a pretty easy thing to, you could also visually do this. If you say I have 6 pizzas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and you want to find the difference, and I ate 1.5. Well, I ate 1, 2, and half of 1. What am I? Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I ate 1.5. Sorry, I didn't eat. Oh, man, I ate too many. I only ate 1. Here, let me do it in another color. I ate 1.5 of 1. What do I have left? I have left 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a little half. I have left 4.5, and that's my answer. Okay, so I know this is difficult. You're not going to get one so difficult, but I want you to still understand the concept of this, okay? So my answer is negative 3x minus 4.5. Now, this is exactly the same question that I'm going to give you in the quiz. So if you're looking at this video, you just probably got that correct, if you remember how to do it. Okay, now I'm going to give you an extra credit. And I want you to pay attention because hopefully that will help your grade. Let's put all of this algebra that we're learning, let's put it into place. Okay, so we know that a square has 4 equal sides. I am going to tell you what is the perimeter. So a perimeter, remember there's a perimeter and there's area. A perimeter is the length of all sides, okay? So if this is 2, the perimeter is 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 because a square has all the same sides, which 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is the same thing as 2 times 4, correct? Okay, so let's say that you don't know the perimeter. All you know is, that you don't know the sides. All you know is that the side is x. So how do you write an equation? Well, if it's a square and it's one side is x, squares are all equal. That means they're all x. So you write an equation by putting x plus x plus x plus x, which is the same thing as, oopsie daisy, as 4 times x. And that's an equation for this. So if you get a question that reads, so hint, hint, the perimeter of a square, I'm trying to find the perimeter of a square. One side is x. How do I find the perimeter? I want you to write that answer. Okay, now, let's say you have a rectangle. Now, you know that a rectangle has a width and has a length. And if I say, what is the perimeter of the rectangle if the width is x and the length is y? Well, if the width is x here, then you know it has to be x here, right? And if the length is y here, then you know it is y here. So how would you write this? You would write this to find the perimeter. You write x, right? Plus y plus y. So in algebra, how can you write this expression? Well, I'll tell you. You can write 2x's plus 2y's, right? 2x's plus 2y. This is the same thing as this. And now I'm going to give you even an easier way. Okay? What if I factor out the 2 times x plus y? Isn't that the same thing? So look, 3 different ways of writing the perimeter of a rectangle. you have x plus y and x plus y. 2 times x plus y. That's going to give you the same answer. All right, so that's going to be your extra credit for tomorrow. So you know what? This is an easy A if you listen to this video. And that's it, guys. Have a great night. Please study. Just a little quick glimpse. This is your test for tomorrow. These are the 2 questions that I just gave you. The last one is extra credit. The square one is very easy. I am counting it. Good luck.